Hello, everybody, and welcome to PPG Paints Arena for the 2025 Holiday Hoops Classic, brought to you by Edgar, Snyder and Associates. Alongside Chuck Cooper III, I'm Josh Taylor. We are pleased to bring you the first game of this wonderful, wonderful event here at PPG Paints Arena. We're starting with the City League. It is the Carrick Raiders and the Allderdice Dragons. And let's start talking about Allderdice here, Chuck, the four-time defending City League champions, coming back into this game, this matchup with Carrick. These are two teams that are a lot older, more experienced, and they've both had some pretty interesting runs in their schedule. Carrick coming in 5-3, Allderdice coming in at 4-4.
Well, JT, I'm really looking forward to this matchup. You get, a couple of teams here who are recently this decade competed for the city championship. And, to play in a holiday tournament like this, it really gives you that tournament atmosphere. So I know these guys are cranked up and ready to go.
And they're about to do it under the bright lights on one of the best floors to do it in the city of Pittsburgh. Now, we are moments away from tip-off here, but we will get into the starting lineups for these two teams. For the Carrick Raiders, it is the senior guard number 1, Kiwan Johnson, the junior guard number 2, Luze Watson. At forward number 12, the senior Devania Phillips. Number 13, the forward junior Bryce Pryor. And then number 33, the senior forward Trayshawn Beasley. For the Allderdice Dragons, the junior guard number 1, Keith Taylor. Senior guard number 5, Marcus Kuhn. Senior guard number 12, Zachary Coffey. Senior forward number 23, Keanu Brooks. And then number 42, the senior forward, 6'4", Lucas Stead. And this is a matchup where we're talking about these two teams, especially with Allderdice. You're talking about the two teams being very experienced, having a lot of juniors and seniors. But this is an Allderdice matchup, or Allderdice roster, I should say. This lineup, a much bigger lineup, 6'2", 6'3", some bigger guys against Carrick that might be a little bit more undersized.
Well, with a bigger lineup, you expect them to really dominate the glass. And in my understanding, that's one of the keys to the game. So I expect Allderdice to be physical, utilizing that size, and it should really be a great matchup.
And we will break a little bit more down about how these two teams came about to get to this point. But we will take a break. When we come back, we will have introductions and we will have tip-off. Thank you for joining us here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
In this city, basketball has always meant more. It's been played in packed gyms, under bright lights, and on cold winter nights when pride was the only thing keeping the heat on. These floors build legends, names that still echo in hallways, banners, and backboards. Generation after generation, the game stayed the same. Hard work, toughness, heart, and dedication. And now, the stage gets bigger. From neighborhood gyms to the biggest arena in the city, this is where tomorrow's stars step into the spotlight, where rivalries rise and moments become memories. This holiday season, Pittsburgh Hoops comes home. Welcome to PPG Paints Arena. Welcome to the Edgar, Snyder & Associates Holiday Hoops Classic.
Welcome back to PPG Paints Arena. The opener of the Holiday Hoops Classic brought to you by Edgar, Snyder & Associates alongside Chuck Cooper III. I'm Josh Taylor. Thanks for joining us. We are moments away from tip-off between Allderdice and Carrick. The first of this amazing event here at PPG Paints Arena. It will be the City League, and these two teams will square off. Before we do that, let's look at the City League standings as we look at it right now. Carrick with a record of 5-3 overall. They are actually in first place right now. Obama Academy 3-2 overall in second place. Allderdice, the third place team, with a record of 3-4. Now, when we talk about this particular matchup, this is such an earlier look at what we normally see. December, you're thinking tournaments, you're thinking holiday games, you're thinking more mixed matchups, but we're getting a City League matchup here in December, Chuck.
Yeah, not just that, but again, these are two teams that, you know, if I'm not mistaken, Carrick won the city championship in 2021, and Allderdice jumped in and ran 4 straight. So not only is it a City League matchup early, it's between two teams that expect really to compete for the City League crown.
And Allderdice hasn't let it go. You mentioned 4 in a row. If you want to put it in perspective, you got a senior class right now that's entering their 4th season here, if they are 4-year seniors, in fact, if that's the case. But we're talking about a group of seniors that don't know anything else other than being City League champions. That's something in and of itself that's pretty profound.
Yeah, you know, when you win a championship, you get that championship mindset, and you know how to compete. You know what it takes to win. You know, I was blessed that I played on 2 city championship teams back in the 70s, and you got 2 things going here. Not only are you competing at a city championship level, but you're playing on a world-class court facility as well. So these are some of the things that really get you pumped up and excited and ready to play.
I think the exciting thing about being a City League athlete, as I was also a member of the city championship baseball team back in 1999, I think the thing that sticks out to you when you're competing on this level is that you're competing against a lot of your peers, kids in your neighborhood, kids you've grown up with, kids you've probably played in off-season tournaments and on teams with. So everybody has connections to each other, and those bragging rights kind of spill over from time to time.
Yeah, these guys are no strangers. You know, Pittsburgh's not the biggest city in the world, so if you play ball, I guarantee you these guys went at it on the courts of Pittsburgh. So I know they're pumped up and ready to go, and there's probably some relationships in here that make it a little chippy sometimes. So I know these guys are ready to compete, because Pittsburgh City League basketball is something that's really a special part of the fabric of Western Pennsylvania basketball.
Right now, we will turn it over to the public address announcer, Brandon Rosside, and we will have our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, basketball fans, and welcome to PPG Paints Arena for Game 1 of the 3rd annual Edgar, Snyder & Associates Holiday Hoops Classic. Today's first game features the Carrick Raiders and the Allderdice Dragons. At this time, we ask you to please join us in observing a moment of silence in memory of Pittsburgh Carrick student, Ashari Kami, who tragically lost her life on Friday. Ashari was a senior at Carrick High School and a beloved member of the Carrick community. Her loss is deeply felt by her family, friends, classmates, teachers, and all whose lives she touched. We extend our deepest and most sincere condolences to Ashari's family, friends, classmates, and the entire Carrick school community during this incredibly difficult time. Please join us now in a moment of silence in honor of Ashari Kami. Thank you. At this time, we ask those willing and able to please rise to honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad. And now, here to sing our national anthem, please welcome Francesca Viator from Allderdice High School. Now, fans, let's meet both teams, starting first with the Carrick Raiders.
And as we wait for pregame introductions, Chuck, let's get more into this matchup here. We talked about Carrick and Allderdice. And you mentioned before just the history between these two teams, at least in the recent years. This Carrick team led by head coach Ken Wright. They're currently in first place in the City League standings. Granted, we know there's a lot more basketball left to be played until we get to February when things get sorted out. But Carrick has a great opportunity now to really establish themselves early and keep themselves at the top of that table.
Yeah, JT, what a great opportunity. This Carrick team, they have some pretty quick guards. They like to get downhill. So I really expect this to be an upbeat and exciting matchup.
As we mentioned, they are led by head coach Ken Wright, and we have the pregame introductions going on right now. On the other side of things with Allderdice, we talked about it, four-time defending City League champions. Granted, with that pride comes a little bit of a target, too. You're the team that everyone's looking to knock off. And if you could try to find a team to knock off 4 times in a row, something's got to give at some point. At least that's what you're thinking.
JT, I'm not even sure if that's not a record. I can't recall a team winning the city basketball championship 4 years in a row. So you talking about being the king of the hill. They're the king of the mountain right now, that's for sure.
You might have to research back to those old Westinghouse days, maybe those old Shinley days, and maybe even the Fifth Avenue.
Way back. You're going way back.
Maybe back to the House Don't Lose days. And we're talking about when Westinghouse was Westinghouse.
Right.
That aura, that mystique followed them wherever they went. But to your point, it does really say a lot when you're able to have that kind of continuity and you have a program that's been successful for that long. And Devin Crummy has been able to take that and continue that forward as head coach.
Yeah, you got to give Coach Crummy a lot of credit. I mean, it's not easy to win one, let alone win 4. So, he's got a formula that's really working for him right now, and I'm really looking forward and excited to see this matchup today.
And then you see the starting 5 for Allderdice as they're being introduced. This is a team that likes to share the ball. They've got 4 or 5 different scorers that are averaging at least 8 points a game, and that's something that you carry forward. Keith Taylor is the leading scorer on this team. He does a lot of different things for this Allderdice group, but they're very diverse. They can score and do a lot of different things.
Yeah, I know Keith just put up some big numbers in his last game. I think he hit around 20 points. But, when you have a team that's diverse in scoring like that, it makes it hard to stop because you shut one guy down and then other guys can rise up and have a a big day. So it's going to be a tough matchup for Carrick today.
Yeah, Keith Taylor averaging 10.5 points per game, as well as 2.3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 2.3 steals. He just does a lot of different things on the floor. And then there's Marcus Kuhn being introduced as well. And you talk about another guy on this team. He averages 8.3 points a game and also 3 assists. So you have guys that can score, you have guys that can distribute, and they've got guys that can play defense too.
And again, they're big and they're physical. So, with that scoring attack and the fact that they're physical and they play tough defense, I might give them the edge here today.
Now, from Carrick's perspective, it's easy to look at Allderdice and talk about what they are. Carrick, you're the relative underdog because you're going up against a 4-time champion, the team with the size advantage. However, you're the first-place team. If you're Ken Wright, what are you telling your team as far as maybe trying to get them into this matchup and give them somewhat of an edge?
You don't need a lot of bulletin board material when you're playing against a team that just won 4 straight. So, and they have their eyes on a title as well. So I don't think it's going to take much to get this team motivated today, JT. But I tell you what, we're going to find out in just a few minutes here.
And we are moments away from tip-off as Carrick takes the floor. Allderdice breaks down. They are going to take the floor as well. Jumping for Carrick will be number 33, Trayshawn Beasley. And for Allderdice, it's number 23, that's Keanu Brooks. As we are just moments away from tipping off this Holiday Hoops Classic here at PPG Paints Arena. Once again, we thank you all for joining us on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. This is an exciting event for high school hoops, and it couldn't be under the brighter lights or on a bigger stage here than PPG Paints Arena in downtown Pittsburgh. And the tap is controlled by Allderdice. That is Marcus Kuhn with it. Kuhn into the corner. That's Zachary Coffey. Back up top. That is Brooks. They kick it back out. Back into the corner. 3-ball attempt from the corner. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded and controlled again by Allderdice. Pass inside. Scrambling for the ball here, and it is controlled by Carrick, and a timeout called quickly. Good job there by Ken Wright with his player down on the floor. I think that was Bryce Pryor who had it wrapped up, and Ken Wright calls timeout quickly.
That was good ball movement. I like the way Allderdice moved the ball to start the game. They missed the open shot, but it was a good shot off of some great ball movement.
And they were battling there early. And it's good to see players having that energy, trying to get on the floor, getting a loose ball. You want to set a tone as soon as you can.
Those hustle plays can make all the difference, especially if this ends up being a close game.
After the brief timeout, these two teams back out on the court again. Interested to see, first of all, who gets the first basket of the game and who starts to get the momentum early.
Surprised by the early timeout. That might be the earliest timeout I've ever seen.
Probably felt necessary for Carrick. That is Davinia Phillips controlling for Carrick, defended by Keith Taylor. Handing it off to Luze Watson. Inside intercepted for Allderdice. That was Lucas Stead. They come back the other way. It is Brooks. Back up top, shot fake. Pull up from near the elbow. And that rims out. Rebounded by Carrick. That was Beasley. And it is Watson controlling now for the Raiders. Still looking for the first bucket in this game. About a minute into the first quarter. Driving the lane. Nice pass off the back door, but couldn't handle it. But gets it off the glass, and that one rims out.
That was all the way down.
Looked like it was down until it wasn't. Pull-up jumper near the baseline, and that is good. That was Marcus Kuhn, and he gets on the board for Allderdice, and we have our first basket of the game. Inbound pass near half court. That's Beasley for Carrick. He kicks it back down. That is Kawan Johnson controlling for the Raiders. 6:27 to go in the first. Driving along the right side. Layup no good. Rebounded by Keith Taylor. Here comes Allderdice. 2-on-1. Layup, it's up off the glass. We got a basket and we've got a foul. And that is Zach Coffey.
Nice strong move going to the hoop by Coffey.
That foul is going to be on number 2, Luze Watson, his first. And Zach Coffey has an opportunity here for a three-point play and to extend that lead for Allderdice. And that bounces in, and we got a 5-0 lead early for the Dragons. Carrick inbounding. Johnson for the Raiders. Over to Phillips. Trying to get across the timeline, and he will. Trap for Allderdice. Back to Johnson on the right wing. Driving down the middle of the lane. Floater is up. Bouncing off the rim and no good. Rebounded by Allderdice. And that was Keanu Brooks. Here comes Coffey to Taylor. Back to Coffey. Swinging around. Brooks along the left side. He's going to take it with the left hand. That's up and in. And Allderdice has a 7-point lead.
Nice ball movement once again.
They are working it around the perimeter and finding the open man early. Getting across the timeline is Carrick. Driving the lane but can't keep control. And Keith Taylor has it for Allderdice. Here come the Dragons. 5 on 3. They've got numbers into the corner. 3-point attempt. That's Coffey. And that Coffey is piping hot because that one goes down. It's a 10-point lead. Timeout called by Carrick. And Chuck, we talked about this. Who can get the momentum first? Who can get out early? And so far, it's Allderdice.
And you know, really, when you look at what the Dragons are doing, they're creating that momentum with their defense. You know, they're picking up full court. And even in the half-court set, they're putting a lot of pressure on Carrick.
Yeah, they're trapping them in the half court, or even before they get to the timeline, they're putting a lot of pressure on the ball, and it's turning into transition baskets here, especially his past couple times down the floor.
I'm really impressed with Allderdice's patience, though. They're moving the ball nice, they're taking good shots, and they look like they're prepared today and ready to play.
And we talked about it before. This Allderdice team, they have a lot of players that can do some different things. You go up and down this roster. Keith Taylor averages 10.5 points a game. Kuhn averages 8. Stead averages 8. Coffey and Brooks both averaging 7. So they can score in a lot of different ways.
And Taylor appears to me to be the guy that really makes the team go.
Inbounding here for Carrick as they bring it up the floor again. Trying to get across the timeline. That is Kawan Johnson to Devonia Phillips. Tried to pass along the baseline there to Pryor. He will recover. 5:11 to go in the first. Collision near half court, but no foul called. But then there's one here. Right near the top of the
Taylor,
key.
maybe?
It looks like they got Taylor. Yeah, that's going to be his first. Kawan Johnson will inbound for Carrick with 5:08 to go in the first. And the Raiders still looking for their first basket. Luze Watson controlling for Carrick. Swinging it back around. That's Johnson, can't hold on. Allderdice brings it back the other way. Bounce pass off the deck. Couldn't convert. And Carrick brings it back the other way. Watson taking the long pass, and they're going to call a foul here. And I think that's going to be Keanu Brooks. It is indeed Keanu Brooks for the foul.
And with Allderdice being so aggressive, the one thing you're going to have to watch out for is foul trouble because they are playing very aggressive D so far.
And they have 2 players with 1 foul apiece already early in this game. Inbounded for Carrick. That is Luze Watson. 4:41 to go in the first quarter. Allderdice leading 10-0. Devonia Phillips on that left wing. Puts it down. Swings it back around. That is Beasley. Beasley in the corner. 3-point attempt. That's Watson, and that's good. And Luze Watson gets Carrick on the board. And we've got a 10-3 game, and the Raiders finally dig into that deficit.
Beasley broke the ice.
Keith Taylor driving for Allderdice all the way to the rack. Bucket and the foul. And Keith Taylor has a chance at a 3-point play. You talked about it, Chuck. This is the guy that you said makes the Dragons go.
He's impressive. He's quick. He's strong. And he's a smart ball player.
That foul's going to be on Trayson Beasley, his first, and that's the team's second foul. But Keith Taylor's got a chance to extend this back to a 10-point lead. We talked about Allderdice's intensity on defense. Another thing they've been doing, they've been very aggressive attacking the rack here in transition.
Very aggressive.
And Taylor converts the 3-point play, and now it's a 10-point Allderdice lead as Carrick inbounds. Allderdice with that full court trap. 2-on-1 for Carrick. Beasley behind the back, but he puts it in, and he draws the foul, and he gets the bucket. So Carrick answers with a bucket of their own. And I think Riley Mayers is going to get called for the foul here.
And that's exactly what you have to do. If the team is pressing you, you have to attack the pressure and take it straight to the hoop.
Excuse me, Keelan Walden, number 22 for Allderdice. My mistake there, beg your pardon. Beasley converts a 3-point play, so now we're back to a 7-point game. Carrick trying to trade punches here with Allderdice. Taylor sends one into the corner. 3-point attempt from the corner, and that is good. That's Anthony Abrams who has checked in the game. It's back to 10 points again. Allderdice trying to keep Carrick at arm's length. Long pass down the floor, and there was no one on the other end. That's going to be a turnover, and Allderdice will take over. Substitution in for Allderdice as Lucas Stead returns. He checks back in, one of their original starters. Meanwhile, number 12, Zach Coffey, will have a seat. And Allderdice will control here. It's Keith Taylor once again. Cross court. That's Abrams. Back across to Taylor. Into the corner. Three-point attempt. That off the rim, no good. Rebounded, though, by Allderdice. Good effort. Back into the corner. Allderdice trying to extend that 16-6 lead. Along the baseline drive, off the glass, no good. Fighting for the rebound. Who's got it? It looks like it's Stead. He kicks it back out. Abrams has it, and Allderdice will control again. Trap for Carrick over to Keith Taylor. Taylor back to Abrams. Abrams for three again, and that one is good. Anthony Abrams has 2 field goal attempts, both three-pointers, and they've both gone in. Inbound for Carrick. That was Pryor getting it back out to Devonia Phillips across the timeline. 2:57 and counting to go in the first quarter. Allderdice leading 19-6 over Carrick. Nearly a turnover there, but Carrick maintains possession. Luze Watson with it, swinging it around to Phillips. 2:46 to go. Pass into the middle of the paint. Kick out into the corner. Three-point attempt, and that one is good. Bryce Pryor answers, and Carrick's not going away quietly. They're trying to stay in it. Abrams into the corner. Swinging it back around. Up top is Keith Taylor. 2:29 to go in the first. Allderdice up by 10, trying to extend that lead once again. That is Damian Gillard, number 32 for the Dragons, who's checked in. Back over to Keelan Walton. Abrams tried to go baseline, thought he had Stead there. Stead didn't see him. And we will take a timeout with 2:10 to go in the first quarter. Allderdice leading Carrick 19-9. You are watching the first matchup here in the Holiday Hoops Classic. Stay with us on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Welcome back to PPG Paints Arena. 2:13 to go in the first quarter. Allderdice leading Carrick 19-9. Dragons started out on a 10-0 run, but since then Carrick has matched them 9 apiece since then, but still trying to cut into this deficit as the Raiders inbound. Also checking into the game for Carrick is number 4, Javian Kesner. And a foul called here right in front of the Allderdice bench. That's going to be on Keelan Walton, his second. So keep an eye on that moving forward as Carrick inbounds here. 2:01 to go in the first. Raiders trying to cut into this 10-point deficit. And Carrick controls. It is Luze Watson. Defended by Marcus Kuhn. They swing it over to the wing, down to the baseline. And the pressure for Allderdice causes the turnover. But ball on the floor. Who's got it? Carrick does. Shot attempt no good. Still battling for the loose ball. Rebounded by Stead from Allderdice, and he's looking for someone to pass to. He'll get it out to Walton, and they'll bring it back the other way. Into the corner. Moving it back around, and Allderdice's ball movement has been something that's been on display early and often in this game. The Dragons control here with 1:25 to go in the quarter. With triangle action here on the baseline. Back out to the wing. Three-point attempt no good off the rim. Rebounded by Stead. Allderdice continues to control. Another three-point attempt from the corner. That one no good. Rebounded by Carrick, and that was Javian Kesner. And here come the Raiders. Kesner controlling. Over to Watson. 1:02 to go in the first. Johnson down on the baseline. Shot attempt. That goes up and in. Bryce Pryor was right there along the baseline, and he converts, and they cut this to 8. Keelan Walden for Allderdice to Gilliard. Inside, Gilliard down on the baseline. Shot attempt no good. Rebounded. I believe that was Watson. Excuse me, that's Beasley for Carrick, who got the rebound, draws the foul. They're going to get Damian Gilliard for that foul. Alongside Chuck Cooper III, I'm Josh Taylor. And Chuck, we've seen Allderdice get out to this lead, but to Carrick's credit, they are trying to cut back into this lead. And they're taking the shots that Allderdice is throwing at them. It's just that 10-0 run at the beginning that made the difference so far.
Yeah, the pressure's really bothered them, but they've been able to move the ball a couple times with some consistency. And Bryce Pryor has stepped up and put together a couple buckets that's keeping them in the game right now.
Trayshawn Beasley will shoot 2 as the first one goes. 5 team fouls already for Allderdice in this first quarter. Something to pay attention to for sure. Brian Babjack checks in for Carrick, the senior forward. As Trayshawn Beasley would try to cut this to a possible 6-point game. Second attempt is no good. Rebounded by Allderdice. That was Keanu Brooks, and here come the Dragons. It's Coffey. Coffey to Brooks. Brooks back out, swing it back around. It's Coffey again near the top of the key. 21 seconds to go. Allderdice might try to play from one shot, but it's intercepted, bringing it back the other way. And the layup, reverse layup is good. That was Luze Watson with the steal and the transition bucket. We've got a 5-point game. 8 seconds to go. Driving the lane is Brooks, left hand, and that was nice to get it in there. 3 seconds left off the inbound. Watson near half court, heaves it. Off the rim and no good, but the first quarter ends with some excitement here, a nice back and forth. But we've got a 7-point game. Allderdice leading Carrick 21-14. We will be back with the second quarter. You are watching the Edgar, Snyder & Associates Holiday Hoops Classic on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Your boy Bert Kreischer is back.
Woo! I'm back, baby!
And he's giving you permission to party. So grab a friend and meet him in Pittsburgh at the PPG Paints Arena.
Done, son.
Tickets available now at BertBertBert.com.
After you've been in a serious accident, you're going to have a lot of questions about what the insurance company is doing.
These are some we hear all the time.
Why are they trying to get a statement when I'm still in the hospital?
Why are they inspecting my car without my permission?
Why are they asking me to fill out all these forms?
Why are they calling me all day?
Why do I feel like I'm being pressured to take their offer?
Want answers? Call us. And remember, there's never a fee unless we get money for you.
Nothing sacred and nobody safe when they cut loose. Watch those feet. The magicians of basketball.
If y'all ready for some more slam dunks, I need y'all to make some.
This game is once in a century. Be there at PPG Paints Arena on December 26th. Go to HarlemGlobetrotters.com for your tickets to the 100-year tour.
At Loewe, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Loewe apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Loewe to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
Get ready, Pittsburgh. The Steel City High School Hoop Showcase is here. See the top talent in the WPIAL take the court. Catch 10 weeks of unforgettable action on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. It all tips off January 9th as Newcastle faces Box Chapel.
Welcome back to PPG Paints Arena. Alongside Chuck Cooper III, I'm Josh Taylor, bringing you Allderdice and Carrick in the first game of the Edgar, Snyder & Associates Holiday Hoops Classic. Right now, Allderdice leading Carrick 21-14 at the start of the second quarter. Shot attempt here for Carrick, no good. Rebounded by Lucas Stead of Allderdice. Keith Taylor will control here for the Dragons as they have that 7-point lead, and some excitement here to end the first as these two teams traded baskets. Marcus Kuhn looking inside to Stead. Layup attempt no good. Gets his own rebound. Puts it back up and in. And Allderdice extends that lead to 9. Carrick inbounds here. Luze Watson. That is over to Javian Kesner for the Raiders. So trying to cut into that 9-point deficit. Carrick currently in first place in the City League standings. Allderdice, the 4-time defending City League champion. Right now, Devonia Phillips for Carrick with it. Near in front of the Allderdice bench. Over to Beasley. Beasley with the pull-up attempt, but draws the foul. They're going to call foul on the floor. Lucas Stead called for the foul, his first. Team first of the quarter. Kewan Johnson checks back in for Carrick, as do Bryce Pryor, starters in this game. So the Raiders getting their original 5 on the floor. Inbound to Luze Watson. 6:17 to go here in the first half. Watson driving down the right side. Pull up there, and that one is good.
Shot.
Nice floater there by Watson to cut it to a 7-point game. We'll come back the other way. Zach Coffey for Allderdice. He kicks it out to Keith Taylor. Baseline. Nice move by Taylor, but couldn't get the basket to go. Rebounded by Kewan Johnson. Johnson crossing it over, trying to get past Taylor and across the timeline. He's driving. He puts it up. Finger rolled. Nice move there.
Way to break the press.
Carrick with a couple baskets here, Chuck.
Nice job against the pressure.
Coffey from the corner. 3-pointer no good. Rebounded. I believe that was Pryor for Carrick. Beasley's going to get it over to Johnson, and then it's going to be Watson to help set things up for the Raiders. Trying to put together a small run. Contact on the floor here. Looks like they are going to get, I believe that is Marcus Kuhn they're going to call for the foul, and it is indeed.
Looks like Carrick is starting to settle in against the pressure a little bit, getting a little more comfortable and getting some better shots. They're attacking a lot more of this.
Cleaner possessions, too. We saw some miscommunication, maybe some fumble passes here and there, but their communication and their passing has been a lot crisper as well.
Much better, much better.
Inbound here, it's Kewan Johnson controlling for Carrick. 5:24 to go in the second. Raiders down by 5. They're trying to cut into that deficit. Johnson driving the lane. Hand off to Beasley. Beasley from the elbow. That's short. But Johnson's there for the rebound, and he's fouled underneath. So good job by Kewan Johnson to stay underneath and crash the boards and draw another foul.
Yeah, I think he's really starting to control the tempo of the game a little bit. He's attacking, and he's dropping the ball off. So he's really trying to get Carrick back in this game.
Foul on Keith Taylor as Kewan Johnson will shoot 2. You can make the case that between the two guards, both Johnson and Luze Watson, they're the guys that are really driving the offense right now for Carrick.
And Pryor's having a nice all-around game, too. He's filling up the stat sheet a little bit.
Couple check-ins here for Allderdice. Number 33, that is Anthony Abrams, who checks back in. He's got a couple of 3-pointers already in this game. Kewan Johnson converts both, so now we've got a 3-point game.
We got a game.
As Allderdice controls here, a 4-point game. Abrams for Allderdice. Moving it back around to the top of the key. Tries to drop it inside. That was deflected, and they're going to say it stays. Looking for Kuhn on the backside there, but a Carrick defender deflected that pass out of bounds, so Abrams will trigger with 4:53 to go in the second. Abrams, a lob pass to Brooks. Couldn't catch it on the hop. Gets his own rebound, tries again, gets the bucket, and draws the foul. And Keanu Brooks is going to go to the line.
Great job staying after, attack the glass after a miss.
That was Beasley that got him on the right arm there on that rebound attempt.
What's a big basket? Because Carrick was really starting to get some momentum.
They were really starting to get things going here, and things kind of mess up. It kind of messes up that momentum, if you will. Mekhi Winstead checking in, number 30 for Carrick on this free throw attempt by Keanu Brooks. And that is no good. So couldn't convert on the three-point play, and Winstead gets the rebound for Carrick. Kewan Johnson controlling for the Raiders. Trying to get things started back up again. Looking for an outlet pass. Did not have a teammate that was looking for it, and it goes out of bounds, and that's an unforced error for Carrick in the turnover check.
Yeah, that was tough. He's a little too aggressive on that one.
Allderdice brings it up the floor, leading by 6. Zach Coffey with it to Chris Graves, who has checked in for Allderdice. Abrams down in the block, but that's intercepted. Here comes Carrick. It's Johnson. Going to slow things up. Behind the back dribble. Thought about pulling up for the 3. Luze Watson with it now. 4:12 to go in the period. Raiders trail by 6. Watson defended by Graves. He puts it up, and nice floater.
Nice.
Luze Watson right over top of Chris Graves, and he cuts it to 4.
Took advantage of his height.
Coffey to Abrams for Allderdice. Abrams drives the lane. Turns back around, looking to kick it back out. He's got Brooks up top, 3:47 left. Brooks crossing over. He drives. He kicks it back out. Chris Graves at the top, the sophomore guard. He hands off to Coffey. Back out top to Brooks. 3-man weave action going. It's Abrams now. Abrams pulls up from near the elbow. That's no good. Effort by Coffey getting the offensive rebound. And Allderdice controls, but intercepted. Kewan Johnson got right in the passing lane and ripped that one off.
Got a chance to make it a one-possession game.
Oh, and Graves takes another pass away. It's Brooks underneath, off the glass and in. These two teams jumping in front of each other. Nice bucket there for Allderdice. Phillips inbounding for Carrick. Luze Watson runs into trouble, and he hits contact right near the PPG Paints Arena logo and draws the foul. They're going to get Abrams for that one. And Chuck, off that inbound, was a Carrick player that hit the floor off the inbound, so they were short a man coming across. We saw Watson trying to come across here and make contact.
Yeah, Carrick missed a great opportunity. They had a chance to actually cut it to a one-possession game, turned it over, and Allderdice made a big play to keep the momentum going in their favor.
Good effort by Allderdice. They have been crashing the offensive boards throughout this game, and that was Coffey, the guard, who managed to get in there. Coffey's 5'10", 155, and he slipped in there to get the loose ball. Looks like we are going to take a timeout here with 3:04 remaining in the second quarter. Allderdice leading Carrick 27-21. You are watching the Edgar Snyder and Associates Holiday Hoops Classic on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Okay.
We can talk about Carrick because Carrick has been doing a really good job of trying to at least break that pressure that Allderdice has been putting out there. They become full court, they become a half court with a trap. But Carrick at least is trying to break the press, and it's turned into a couple buckets here.
And they're doing it with their guards. The guards are pretty quick. The only thing that I caution is sometimes they're forcing a little bit, but it definitely has turned the game around. I think they're getting a lot more comfortable breaking that press. And get them when they're aggressive, it's making a big difference. But it's a catch-22. You can't get over the aggressive where you have turnovers. And I think you're exactly right, JT. I think it's the passing angles. You know, if they can get in better position, get some better passing angles, come to the ball, help the guy with the ball out a little bit, I think that'd be make a big difference for him. And that's case in point. He broke the pressure, but probably not a good shot. Yeah, bad decision on that one for sure.
And floater from about 12 feet. He's had a couple of those, Chuck.
A nice touch, nice touch.
Luze Watson controlling it with the mid-range game, keeping it within 6 points for Carrick. We talked about it. The guard play for Carrick is what's keeping him in this game.
100%.
Meanwhile, Allderdice getting contributions from all over the place. Near the foul line. Pass inside to Kuhn. Couldn't control it. And I think that was Pryor that got it for Carrick. When the Raiders get a turnover, they'll bring it back the other way, trying to cut into this 6-point deficit.
Important possession.
Luze Watson, he's been really creative as far as creating some shots. Allderdice tried to trap it. He tried to get rid of the ball. And a turnover and a technical foul has been called. Tahir Phillips had something to say to Luze Watson after that errant pass. He went up to Watson and said something, and immediately, Chuck, the official, called the technical foul.
Yeah, you have to watch your attitude here. These technical calls can really cost you the game on the back end, so you got to be careful.
So a very critical call here. Carrick down by 6. Luze Watson's got a good opportunity here, and they get to end the ball. Watson can't convert the first. And let's talk about what caused that pass. Allderdice had, it was man-to-man, and they shot a second man out there to put pressure on him and force that errant pass. So Watson makes 1 of 2.
And that's one of the keys. You want to break the pressure, but you just can't afford to turn the ball over, especially when you're trying to make a run and come back like that.
And on Allderdice's side, you want to try to control emotions and really be careful about what you say and do here, because something like this could be a momentum swing for Carrick, getting a technical foul, converting 1 of 2 and getting possession here. Pryor, his shot attempt no good. Loose ball controlled by Carrick. Johnson somehow got it. Floater from short, no good. Tried to get his own rebound, kept it alive. Oh, they're going to say he touched the end line. So Allderdice will retain possession, but Carrick trying to make something happen here, just couldn't keep possession.
Yeah, they're getting their opportunities. They just haven't been able to capitalize. They almost got it to a 1-possession game, but they're still hanging in. This game is not over.
Allderdice leading by 5, 36 seconds to go in the first half. It's Kuhn. Kuhn to Brooks off the handoff. Gets the screen from Stead. Abrams for 3 from the wing. That
nice
one is
stroke.
good.
Nice stroke.
Anthony Abrams, his 3rd three-pointer and an 8-point lead for the Dragons. 21 seconds to go, and Carrick needs something to happen here, and that was not what they needed.
Yeah.
A little bit too much on it from Luze Watson, and that's been a problem for both Watson and for Johnson. Maybe just a little bit too much mustard on the passes here, Chuck.
Yeah, I don't know what the turnover count is, but the pressure from Allderdice is definitely affecting Carrick. It looks like they're starting to get a little bit frustrated and impatient, and the turnovers are killing them right now.
Yeah, when Carrick gets settled and they get into their half court and they just allow themselves to communicate and work the ball around, they do make some things happen, and their guards have pulled off some pretty incredible shots here. It's just they can't seem to retain possession as much as they would like. As I say that, Luze Watson gets the steal off the inbound and then draws the foul. So good defensive effort by Watson to get the ball back.
And they're creating turnovers themselves. I mean, they're playing aggressive defense too. I wonder if they'll go to a full court press at some point during the game.
Foul called here on Anthony Abrams, his 2nd foul. As a team 5th foul for Allderdice, so Luze Watson will shoot 2. And that one falls short. Zachary Coffey, meanwhile, checks back in for Carrick. And Devonnia Phillips checks back in for Carrick. So both 12s. Coffey for Allderdice, Phillips for Carrick. Checking back in the game with 15 seconds left. They're both starters. Watson's second attempt. Misses both sides of it, but he steals the pass here. Tries to keep it alive.
Great athletic play.
Phillips gets a hold of it. Left-hand layup, and that's good. So that cuts it to 6, but it started with Watson getting a hand on the ball. Last-minute heave doesn't go, and the horn sounds. We go into the half, and Carrick still fighting their way back, trying to keep this thing close. And before we go to a break here, let's talk about first half thoughts, Chuck, because we just talked about Carrick and some of the opportunities that they had. They haven't cashed in on them, but they've at least been able to match it somewhat with some defensive intensity of their own to end the half.
You know, just interesting. You know, they're missing foul shots, missed a couple layups, but then when you see some of the acrobatic plays that they're making, that's keeping them in the game to get that last layup, you just think if they settle in just a little bit, played a little bit more disciplined, I think they got a chance to come back in the second half and tie this game up and maybe move ahead.
Yeah, Luze Watson using active hands to get in front of a couple inbound passes or just passes in general, trying to get things back going the other way for Carrick. On the Allderdice side, they've shot the ball really well, but they've also made some self-inflicted mistakes where they can have a bigger lead here.
Yeah, you know, in the half-court defense, Carrick has caused some problems. They forced Allderdice to some uncharacteristic turnovers. And I'm wondering if they're thinking about maybe coming out in the second half. And, you know, sometimes you want to give a team a taste of their own medicine. Maybe they decide to pick them up full court and see if they can push the tempo and cause some more turnovers.
When we come back, we will talk about the halftime numbers, and we'll talk about what we can expect in the second half. We'll go over those things. Chuck Cooper III, Josh Taylor here with you. We'll be right back here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Inside. Inside PPG Paints Arena, I'm Matt Fargo, Creative Marketing Manager for Oakview Group, and joined now by the Special Events Sales Manager, Katie Oltmans joins me. And Katie, thanks so much for taking some time out.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
One of the things that you do is sell these spaces when they are not full during an event like Holiday Hoops or like Justin Timberlake or when the Pittsburgh Penguins are here at the arena, and we're sitting in one right now.
We are, yeah. This is our Casamigos Club, which is right under section 109.
And talk about what someone who's interested in maybe the scale. People may think of this building as so big that they aren't able to have their event here, but really you're able to accommodate sizes and events of all sizes.
Totally. We have over a dozen private event spaces that are for the community to utilize for anything from a conference room to a big gala or a wedding on the arena floor. So we can really scale your event to your desire. I mean, anything is really possible here.
All right, some of the other places in the building that are available to special events and private events.
Sure, we have our Lexus Club. We have our conference rooms, our PPG party suites, our bunker suites, which are some of my favorite rooms in the entire facility. We have suites 91 and 92. And after the first 2 years, the Penguins won the Cup. And then, of course, Suite 66, which speaks for itself. A bunch of really cool tribute items to Mario Lemieux. Casamigos Club is available to rent as well. Our Highmark lobby, so many more.
You mentioned the Lexus Club, and I think that one obviously gets a lot of play for one of the most unique views of downtown Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. It's these beautiful floor-to-ceiling sweeping views of the city. It's more of an upscale feel. It's really, really unique, and it's one of the most requested rooms we have. And when you think private events at PPG Paints Arena, I think that's what comes to mind.
Talking during holiday hoops, and a lot of high schools and maybe boosters are watching this, reaching out to them and maybe hosting their prom or their next gala. There's so many different options that maybe would elevate their event that they currently have in just an everyday ballroom.
Absolutely. We can do proms. We have a prom coming up in the spring. We can do sports banquets. We can do graduations. You name it, we can do it. Have your booster club come in, have a meeting, awards ceremony, or even just have like a fun lunch and do a tour of the building. We can do that too.
You mentioned the tours. How does someone reach out and get in contact with you to be able to see the space? Because I think that's almost the most important part of coming here to the arena is getting to actually see and start to visualize what your event could start to look like.
Absolutely. Nothing better than coming to this place when it's totally empty and you feel like you have it all to yourself. If you just head to our website, ppgpaintsarena.com, and head to bookings and rentals, you'll find my email on pretty much every page. So just shoot me an email or fill out our inquiry form and it'll go right to me.
It's the $1 million question that I'm sure you get a lot is, how much is this going to cost me? And I think that the overall arching answer is that there's options for every budget and you're able to work with depending on the groups, and a lot of options now for nonprofits as well.
We do offer nonprofit rates. We really want to prioritize everybody in our community. So if you really want to have an event here, we're going to try to find a way to make it possible for you no matter your budget.
All right, so if I want to have an event here and now I also want to bring in food, what are some of the food options that Aramark offers in the building to kind of go with my private event?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have this great in-house event catering team. They are ready to work with you on your budget, on your theme. They will customize top to bottom all the way to your linens to make sure that it goes with, your school colors, any sort of theme that you have in mind. That's really what they do best, and they like to show their creative flair. So renaming menu items, coming up with fun things like I mentioned the prom earlier. We're going to do a fun pizza bar, popcorn bar, ice cream bar, candy bar. It's going to be really fun.
That's a lot of creative ideas, and the possibilities are endless with all of that. Maybe I have to ask you personally, what's your favorite spot in the building to host an event?
I do love bunker suites, but I think a hidden gem is up on our 6th floor. It's the very top of the building. It's our Coors Light Igloo Club. It's kind of hidden away from the concourse, but you can still kind of peek around and have a view of the bowl. But we do still get those city views. I mean, this building is one giant window into downtown Pittsburgh, and I think Coors Light Igloo Club is one of our hidden gems.
No question about it. Again, Katie, how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, ppgpaintsarena.com, bookings and rentals. You'll find my email. Reach out anytime.
All right, thanks to Katie Oatmans for joining us, and we'll keep our eyes on all things here at PPG Paints Arena, including that next private or special event you'll be having here.
Welcome back to PPG Paints Arena for the second half of the opening game of the Edgar, Snyder & Associates Holiday Hoops Classic. Alongside two-time City League basketball champion Chuck Cooper III, I'm Josh Taylor. Excited to bring you the second half. We here between Allderdice and Carrick. Allderdice leading this game 33-27 in a first half that had Allderdice jumping out to a large lead. They had a 10-0 run to open the game, but Carrick continues to fight their way back in this game, Chuck.
Yeah, and they have to continue. You know, one of the keys to the game was that they're going to have to protect the ball versus pressure, and that's something that they're going to have to be better at this half if they want to get back in it.
And that's a rebound there by Kawan Johnson, who controls it for Carrick. Over to Luze Watson. And those two guards have really been generating a lot of Carrick's offense so far in this game.
Yeah, they're quick, they're fast, they have a lot of athletic ability. Got to be a little bit more careful, though, protecting the basketball.
Turned it over there to Lucas Stead for Allderdice, and it's Marcus Kuhn now controlling it near the top of the key. About 40 seconds into this third quarter with the Dragons and the Raiders. Carrick atop the City League standings at the moment. They get it inside to Stead on the block. Pivot, spin move, no good. Rebounded by Johnson. And stolen back away by Zach Coffey. He pulls up from short. That one's no good. Scramble for the ball here, but it's Luze Watson controlling it for Carrick.
Carrick's got to protect the ball.
That's Trayshawn Beasley getting it across to Kewan Johnson. Carrick looking to just settle down and get into their half court and let some things flow.
Yeah, a little bit more patience.
A little fast and frenetic for the Raiders in this game. There's a pass to Devonia Phillips that was almost intercepted. Phillips bounced
there
pass.
It is.
That's Pryor inside. First shot attempt, no good. Gets his own rebound. Puts it back up. That one's no good. And it's Kuhn rebounding it for Allderdice. Over to Keanu Brooks down the left side. Left-handed junk attempt, no good. And rebounded by Carrick. Keanu Brooks thought he had a transition flush, but it did not go that way.
Yo, man, got some hops.
He can get up. He's an athletic guy. Johnson for Carrick. This one's picked off. Coffey bringing it back. One-on-one attempt. Shot fake. Spin move. Shot no good. And they're going to say that Kewan Johnson touched the end line here.
Nice shot fake. Just couldn't finish.
Oh, correction. They're going to say it's his Carrick ball. It's off of Allderdice. So Carrick will inbound from under their own basket. 5:57 to go in the third. Long pass ahead to Trayshawn Beasley. Beasley down the backside. And that was Pryor who was open. had the wide open shot.
I thought that almost could have been goaltender.
They're calling a loose ball foul on the floor. I think this is going to be on Carrick.
Basket counts for Carrick.
Oh, they're calling in the cylinder for Carrick, so they're going to count the basket. That was Bryce Pryor who will get credit, so now it's a 4-point game. That eliminates that confusion on the call. Pass inside to Stead for Allderdice. That one off the glass and in. So Lucas Stead answers, and the Dragons.
Big, strong kid, three-sport athlete. He's a difference maker down low.
Dragons get their first field goal of the second half. Devonnia Phillips controlling for Carrick. Back up top to Kewan Johnson. 5:27 to go in the third. Carrick trailing by 6. Johnson trying to drive, made contact and loses it. Keanu Brooks brings it back the other way. Layup with the left hand, no good. Rebound attempt. They're going to say it's off of Beasley, and it will stay on this end of the floor. Once again, Keanu Brooks is showing off. He's got wheels. He's got the leaps. He's got all of it. Maybe a little bit too heavy on the gas, though.
Yeah, he's a good athlete.
Stead for the long three attempt from the big man. That one goes down. Lucas Stead. The pivot putting it in from deep. That
Big
extends
shot.
it to 9 for Allderdice, Chuck.
Big shot, big shot. Carrick's going to have to be careful here.
Allderdice with the pressure here, and they're going to call jump ball. So it's going to go to Allderdice off the jump ball call. Oh, correction, it stays with Carrick. There was a confusion there. They thought it was Allderdice ball, but it is indeed Carrick ball. Devonnia Phillips inbounds, Trayshawn Beasley. Right to, oh, that was Watson coming down the lane, and the layup attempt did not go. Luze Watson had the inlet pass. He couldn't put it down. Keith Taylor on the other side for 3 for Allderdice. That's no good. Rebound attempt. That was Keanu Brooks. Draws the foul. And Keanu Brooks will go to the line and shoot 2. They're going to get Bryce
Brooks has
Pryor
really
for the
made
foul.
his presence felt opening up this second half.
He was really quiet in the first half. It was a little bit more of a team effort. They were really working the ball around just the open man. But in this particular part of the game, Keanu Brooks has really asserted himself for sure. He will shoot 2. Checking in for Carrick is number 4, Javian Kesner. He was their first man off the bench in the first half. And Keanu Brooks trying to extend this to a 10-point lead. They started out this game on a 10-0 run, and since then, Carrick has clawed their way back, but just has not been able to finish that pursuit, and perhaps an opportunity here, missing both of these attempts for Keanu Brooks.
Yeah, this is a key possession. It's a 9-point game, and if they don't pick it up, this game could get away from them pretty quick.
Kewan Johnson inbounding to Luze Watson. Watson to Kesner. He brings it across the timeline. Kesner back to Johnson, and they're going to call a travel. He had both hands on the ball. He was trying to cross it up, but it looks like he got both hands on it, and they saw it immediately. It's another turnover for Carrick, Chuck.
Chance for Allderdice to get a double-digit lead.
A lot of missed opportunities for Carrick here, and it's not like they haven't had plenty. Granted, there's plenty of game left, but you wonder just how many more they have left. As Allderdice controls by 9 here. Zach Coffey back out to Keanu Brooks. Hesitation. Back up top. It's Kuhn. Marcus Kuhn back to Brooks. 4:17 to go. Allderdice can take their time. They lead by 9. Brooks swings it back around to Kuhn to Coffey. Over to Keith Taylor. Keith Taylor not very well seen, not much seen on the score sheet today. His teammates have been doing it all. And a turnover there as Luze Watson has it for Carrick. Very frenetic sequence there, and Carrick hoping to slow this down and bring some patience here. Watson, his pass to Kesner was deflected by Coffey, out of bounds. And Chuck, it's worth mentioning that these two teams really playing out of their element as far as what we expected in this game so far. I think neither of them really have gotten a chance to really settle into what they want to do.
Yeah, Allderdice started off with nice ball control, good ball movement, but I think they since kind of fell into a little bit of Carrick's trap with the up-tempo. And the last possession, they seemed like they were getting back to moving the ball.
Yeah, both teams really bringing up the defensive intensity in this game. Beasley over to Johnson. He'll pull up from short. Nice floater there. He has had Kewan Johnson and Luze Watson. They've been playing really well from 12 feet in.
Yeah, Carrick needed that bucket.
Coffee controls for Allderdice, kicks it back out. It's Keith Taylor now. Another pass, and that's intercepted. Carrick got their hands on the ball. Beasley has it. He's looking for someone to pass to. And that one's intercepted by Keith Taylor. Abrams for 3. Anthony Abrams had 3 of those in the first half. That one off the rim and out of bounds. And it'll be Carrick ball, but we've been talking about this. The 2 guards, Watson and Johnson, they've been the 2 guys, and it's not really necessarily outside. It's really inside the paint where they've done the most damage.
Yeah, and a lot of it's going to the hoop. You know, they use their quickness and they'll beat their guy and they get to the hoop, and you know, and also using their speed on the fast break as well.
Yeah, trying to find those opportunities to use that spacing and their speed to their advantage. And here comes Watson, 3-on-1. Here they come. Behind the back pass to Pryor and lays that one in. How about that one?
Behind the back.
Oh, he downed it up. That was pretty. That cut it to 5. Nice transition bucket there by Carrick.
And that may give them some momentum.
Keith Taylor controlling for Allderdice. Handing it off to Marcus Kuhn. Back to Taylor. In the lane. Pulls up. That one off the glass and in. Keith Taylor, he's Allderdice's leading scorer. Not a lot of him in the first half, but he's starting to assert himself also.
Nice answer. Nice answer.
It is Javian Kesner controlling now for Carrick. Handing it off. It's Beasley inside. Some contact there. They're going to call a foul on the floor.
Big contact.
And Beasley's not a small guy, so to knock him off his path has got to be a pretty big deal. They're going to get Lucas Stead for that one. His second foul. Brian Babjack checks back in for Carrick as Kewan Johnson inbounds. Long pass to Luze Watson over to Kesner. 2:29 to go in the third. Kesner pulls up. That one off the side of the rim. It's going to stay with Carrick because an Allderdice defender couldn't hang on to it. I think that was Brooks that was trying to corral it, and it deflected off of him. So Carrick will get another chance to inbound. Meanwhile, Keanu Brooks will sit down, and Anthony Abrams checks back in, Chuck.
Yeah, that fadeaway was tough. That might have been an ill-advised shot.
Another long inbound here for Carrick. Kesner on the other side of the timeline. 2:23 to go. Kesner hands it off to Luze Watson. Watson's had some interesting plays in this game. Defended by Coffee. Crossover into the lane. Step back near the top of the key. Off the back of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Marcus Kuhn from Allderdice. Abrams looking to get rid of it as he picks up his dribble. Back to Kuhn. 2:03 to go in the third. Allderdice leading this by 7. Zach Coffee with it. Coffee back to Kuhn, and Allderdice is slowing this down. Well, 3-man weave action here at the top of the key as they try to control the clock and keep Carrick on their heels. Kuhn with it, defended by Johnson. Back to Keith Taylor. 1:40 to go. They're going to call a travel on Taylor. And Taylor's looking around going, who, me?
Yeah, I didn't see that myself. I thought he held his pivot.
He looked pretty surprised at it, too. The official saw something different, so that's a turnover, and Carrick with a chance here. They've gotten quite a few of these, Chuck. They got to cash one in eventually.
They have to. They have to. The opportunity's there. They're just not taking advantage of it, JT.
Luze Watson defended by Coffee. Gets the screen from Beasley. Nice give and go. Beasley with it. Going to the lane. Draws the foul. Nice pick and roll there.
You know, that might be a formula for success for them. Beasley's a big guy. He's athletic. Maybe they try to pound it inside to Beasley.
He hasn't been scared to get up on that elbow and near the top of the key. Granted, of course, he's setting screens and helping his teammates out, but he's not afraid to move around in that area and get to the paint for sure. So Beasley will shoot 2. The Carrick faithful starting to come alive here. Got to point this out. Really strong presence from the student bodies from both schools being here today. Of course, it's Christmas break. You know, got opportunity to come on downtown and enjoy a game and cheer your classmates on.
Yeah, and that PPG Paints Arena, I mean, what an atmosphere for this holiday tournament. And I was talking to Matt Fargo. I'm so glad that, you know, he and his partners got together and put this tournament on. Pittsburgh needed this tournament.
Absolutely. There's a lot of basketball history in this town, and when you get the opportunity to put it on display and just show how great of a basketball town it could be, it's always a good thing. And we got a good one here. It's a 5-point game between Allderdice and Carrick. Keanu Brooks had to pick up his dribble there. Trying to find Keith Taylor on the long pass, and he got to it. Defended by Babjack. 1:03 to go in this quarter. Too much on that pass for Brooks. Swatted at, picked up by Carrick. Here comes Johnson. It's 2-on-2. They get tangled up. Who's got it? Kuhn does for Allderdice. Loose ball on the floor, and he picked it up.
Another missed opportunity.
Carrick just keeps getting close and just can't seem to get there. Kuhn on the wing. Coffee off the hesitation. He drives. Shot no good. Tipped around. Johnson's got it for Carrick. 38 seconds left, and the Raiders are going to try to slow this down. Kewan Johnson.
They got a chance to cut this to a one-possession game.
Let's see if they can do it. They've been knocking at the door. Johnson with the hesitation dribble. He puts it in. We got a three-point game, Chuck. Here we go.
We got a game. Let's go.
Brooks for Allderdice. Driving, kicks it out. Keith Taylor on the baseline. Turns it over. Here comes Carrick. It's Watson. Over the timeline. They got numbers. Off the glass. No good. Who's got it? They get it back out. And that's the end of the quarter.
It's a lot of contact. I thought they might have missed a foul.
I thought it was going to happen there too, but the third quarter comes to a close.
Exciting.
With the score, Allderdice 40, Carrick 37. What do the final 12 minutes bring? We will find out when we come back in this opening matchup in the Edgar, Snyder & Associates Holiday Hoops Classic. Thanks for joining us on Sportsnet Pittsburgh.
Nate Bargatze.
It's a lot to have two dogs because you got to open the back door and let two dogs out.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. PPG Paints Arena, July 30th and 31st. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
At Laway, we understand the power of personalization. From hats to water bottles, our expert services include screen printing, embroidery, and a variety of promotional items. We also specialize in team sports gear. What truly sets Laway apart is our dedicated design team, including our talented on-staff graphic designers and exponential customer service. Choose Laway to make a lasting impression on and off the field.
This game is once in a century. Be there at PPG Paints Arena on December 26th. Go to HarlemGlobetrotters.com for your tickets to the 100-year tour.
Rascal Flats, Life is a Highway Tour 2026. Friday, February 27th, PPG Paints Arena. Country music's greatest vocal group, Rascal Flats. Back on the road. With special guests Lauren Elena and Chris Lane. Tickets on sale now. Buy tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Rascal Flats Live.
Get ready, Pittsburgh. The Steel City High School Hoop Showcase is here. See the top talent in the WPIAL take the court. Catch 10 weeks of Undergirl action on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. It all tips off January 9th as Newcastle faces Box Chapel.
Fourth quarter begins here at PPG Paints Arena. The final 8 minutes of this matchup between Allderdice and Carrick. Carrick has climbed their way back to a 3-point deficit. Allderdice opened this game on a 10-0 run, and they've gone back and forth. A timeout on the floor here. Loose ball, and Allderdice is going to call timeout. Joined by former City League basketball champion Chuck Cooper III. I'm Josh Taylor, and Chuck, we saw a lot between these two teams. The first quarter seemed like it was all Allderdice. Second quarter, you saw Carrick start to really show some life. They stepped up the defensive intensity. Then in the third, the offense started to come with it. Now they're within a bucket here. What do you think you can see from them in the fourth quarter? And if you're Ken Wright, what are you telling this team?
Got to stay aggressive on defense, protect the ball, little better shot selection, but their guards are getting into the game. Beasley starting to make his presence felt down low. So with the good guard play, continue to take care of the ball, I think they got an excellent shot of getting the lead here in the second half.
They've gotten a lot of contribution from their starters. That backcourt of Watson and Johnson have really been the engine for this team. But you mentioned Beasley. In the first half, it was Bryce Pryor. These were guys that were doing some of the work inside the paint also in the front court. So, yeah, you see that kind of contribution from all of those guys to stability. On the Allderdice side, this is a team that's had a pretty much a 10-man rotation. They've had a lot of different guys pitching in. But on Allderdice, how do you try to stem the tide that's Carrick coming back here?
I think Allderdice has to get back to what they were doing in the first half. They were moving the ball. They were getting good shots. They were hitting open threes. And they've gotten away. Carrick has actually forced them to play up-tempo, and I think they're not ready for it right now. So they got to get back to settling and moving the ball.
On the floor for Allderdice, it's Kuhn, Stead, Abrams, Gilliard, and Taylor. For Carrick, it is Johnson, Watson, Babjack, Beasley, and Kesner. It's Abrams in the corner bringing it out for Allderdice. He had 9 in the first half. Keith Taylor for the Dragons, their leading scorer. Back to Abrams. About 30 seconds into the final quarter of the opening game of the Edgar, Snyder & Associates Holiday Hoops Classic. Glad you can join us here at PPG Paints Arena on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Abrams with it. Back up top. It's Stead. He's going to try the 3 from the wing. He had one
Big
earlier.
Shot. Big shot.
And he's got another one, and the big man extends it to 6, Chuck.
Yeah, he's got a nice stroke. When he's open, that's a problem.
That's a good answer for Allderdice, with Carrick trying to make their move. A nice play there by Taylor to knock the loose ball away. Gilliard in transition.
Big fella again. Nice pass.
Damian Gillard.
Another steal.
Another steal. Gillard again. That one's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be Carrick ball, but if you're Carrick, you got to try to find, and they're going to do that right now. Ken Wright's going to call timeout here. He's got to try to find some stabilizing force to get Carrick to stop and slow down and breathe, because Allderdice just came in fast and furious, got a couple turnovers.
You know, it's been a theme, JT. Every time Carrick gets close and you know, to make a run, Allderdice comes right back. And they did it again off of their pressure defense, full court press. That's been a problem for Carrick since the beginning of the game. They just haven't figured it out.
And they've been mixing it up as far as their pressure. Go full court press. Sometimes they'll half court trap right there when they get to the timeline. Sometimes they'll be in a half court set, and then they'll just send the second guy out there to trap like simultaneously. So they're really mixing it up and giving Carrick different looks.
Yeah, I looked one time, they were running a 1-1-2-1. I never saw that press, but it's been effective. You know, Carrick's having some problems with it. But, you know, once Carrick's guards get going, they're really the difference makers for them. So they got to continue to press forward. But, again, not taking care of the basketball, and the turnovers have really, really cost them in this game.
I'd love to see how the chess match is going to go between these two coaches. Devin Crummy is showing his cards as far as what they're doing defensively. But can Ken Wright put together something for this team to slow things down, stabilize it, and continue to cut into this deficit? They've done just such a good job of chipping away at it. Can they finish that climb?
If they do, it's going to have to be the 2 guards and Beasley.
I might have to agree with you on that one, and one of them will inbound it. That is Kawan Johnson. He inbounds it to the other one, and that's Luze Watson. Ahead to Beasley to break the press. 6:40 to go in regulation here. A good City League matchup to open up the Holiday Hoops Classic. Watson back to Beasley. He'll hand it back. Looking for a screen. Goes the opposite way, and he's going to draw a foul. Foul on the floor here. I think they're going to get Marcus Kuhn, and that will be him. That's the second foul for Kuhn, the first in the quarter for Allderdice, and they've had quite a few fouls in each of the first 2 quarters of this game, so that's something to pay attention to as well. Carrick has found themselves in the bonus more than once already.
It's the downside of being aggressive.
Watson defended by Kuhn into Beasley. He drops
nice,
layup off the glass,
nice.
and that's in. Nice drive by Beasley. You talked about it, Chuck. Let him move in space.
You got to let him work. Got to let the big fella work.
Back to a 6-point game. It's 5:59 and counting. Damian Gillard for Allderdice. He swings it into the corner to Keith Taylor. Taylor off the crossover. Work it back up top to Keanu Brooks. 5:46 to go. Allderdice leading by 6. 4-time defending City League champions. Work it down into the block. That's Brooks. Nice
big
spin
shot.
move. A nice look there from Lucas Stead.
Nice look. Nice look.
Carrick inbounds here. Down by 8. Allderdice goes back to the press. Carrick breaks it. Getting across the timeline is Kawan Johnson. Didn't take the screen. Maybe he should have, because here comes Lucas Stead the other way. And that's off the glass and in. And Allderdice has brought this right back up to 10. And Carrick, those mistakes are starting to compound, Chuck.
It's the theme. You know, Carrick could cut it and get it close to Allderdice, or pressure him and get it right back.
Javian Kesner for Carrick controlling. Back out to Beasley. Beasley going to drive. He throws it towards the middle. That's Pryor. Lost it in the paint. 2 men fighting for it. Who's got it? They're going to call jump ball. And that's going to go to Carrick. A good job there by Bryce Pryor. Oh, they're going to give it to Allderdice off the possession arrow. Beg your pardon. Checking back in for Allderdice is number 12, Zach Coffey. Anthony Abrams checks back in as well.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Allderdice, settle in and move the ball again and try to work for a good shot here.
It's what they did in the first quarter, and it served them very, very well. They got out to that hot 10-0 run to start the game. Zach Coffey with it, swings it over to Keith Taylor. 4:38 to go in regulation. Abrams, he's got 3 3-pointers in this game. Back to Coffey. Coffey drives, picks up his dribble, back up top to Taylor.
Definitely being patient here.
They're looking for that dribble penetration. If they don't have it, they're kicking it back out. And the foul call here on the floor, Luze Watson's going to get called for it. He reached in on Coffey.
With no shot clock still in college, in high school basketball, why not slow this game down? And, you get a 2 or 3, you either get a 12 or a 13-point lead. So there's no reason for Allderdice to rush at all here.
It definitely favors the team with the lead, especially when you're up double digits. As they inbound and they control it. Coffey into the corner. It's Abrams against Devontae Phillips, who just checked back in for Carrick. Coffey with it in the corner. He drops it in to Stead. Spin move on the block.
Big
and
fella.
It's up and in.
Once again.
Lucas Stead, he's come alive here in the second half.
He's a strong player.
Inbound pass for Carrick, and the Allderdice still with that defensive pressure. They're not letting up. Pryor with it for Carrick. It's Phillips, and he couldn't hold on to the pass from Pryor, and another turnover.
Really feels like this game is starting to get away from Carrick.
It's really just starting to slip out of their hands, figuratively and literally.
And, I think Allderdice killed about a minute last time down. I wouldn't be surprised to see him do that again.
Got to bleed the clock out here. Marcus Kuhn hands it off to Zach Coffey as they lead by 12. 3:37 and counting. Carrick faithful still admonishing the Raiders to try to stay in this game as Keith Taylor drives to the rack, draws the foul. The contact came from Kawan Johnson, so that's his
you
first.
mentioned earlier Johnson hasn't scored a lot, or Taylor, I'm sorry. He hasn't scored a lot this game, but he's really played a good all-around game, and he's definitely been instrumental in Allderdice's success thus far.
He's in the second half. He's actually been the guy that's kind of been the anchor point.
Right.
If you want to talk about from that perspective, as he misses the first attempt.
He's
here.
been the glue.
Yeah, he's really helped kind of stabilize things for Allderdice because you mentioned it before. Carrick was really trying to speed things up for them, and they were starting to get out of control, so they let Taylor start controlling the ball, and things started to settle down for him. Taylor hits the second attempt, so 1 out of 2. And a 13-point lead for Allderdice. It's Carrick. 3.5 minutes left, and they're running out of time. Try to get back in this game. Kawan Johnson controls. Up against Marcus Kuhn. Gets the screen from Beasley. Crosses back over. In the lane, floater. That's no good. Gets his own rebound. That one doesn't go. Loose ball. Who's got it? It's Lucas Stead for Allderdice. And he'll get it up ahead to Coffey. Coffey to a cutting Keith Taylor. That one no good. Rebound missed. And it's going to go to Carrick. They're going to say it's Carrick ball. That whole sequence for Allderdice. After that turnover, Allderdice thought they had an opportunity there, couldn't put it in. Meanwhile, Carrick looking for some opportunity here to get things back in their direction. Meanwhile, Soren Stout has checked in for Allderdice, the 6'3" senior center.
They have a chance to make one more run, but it has to be now.
And that press for Allderdice is not letting up. Carrick trying to move it around. Kesner with it. He drives, blocked by Stout. Deflected off a Carrick player and out of bounds, and they're going to say it's Allderdice ball. Soren Stout's been in the game for all of 40 seconds, and he comes up with one big play.
I would be surprised to see Allderdice slow it down again and work for a good shot here.
Allderdice sub it in kind of generously here as Stead returns, and Brooks has a seat. Coffey with it for Allderdice across the timeline. 2:35 to go. Stead swings it around. That's Keelan Walden. Back to Kuhn. 2:26 left. Carrick, you got to start thinking about fouling here soon.
Yeah, Allderdice is not in a hurry to take a shot.
Coffey driving. We got a call here inside. It's against Carrick. And I think that is going to be on double foul. Allderdice, it's on Kuhn. And for Carrick, it's on Kesner, excuse me. So double foul called. That's a rare occurrence, but all the same, Allderdice retains control. 2:07 remaining. Driving the lane. That's a blocked shot. Good job by
Nice
Watson.
block.
Blocking Walden. Here comes Watson. He's contacted on the other way back. And they're going to call that on the floor. I think it's Zach Coffey that made contact with him.
Strong move, but Carrick has to think about maybe taking threes if they're going to get back into this game.
Definitely have to start thinking about some long-range shots and trying to find, some longer passes to break this press. They got to get down the floor a lot quicker. They're running out of time. Less than 2 minutes to go here. Inbound to Beasley. Back out to Kesner. He can't hold on. Kuhn's got it for Allderdice, and here they come back up the floor. Long pass ahead. Taylor can't handle it. He saved it, but he gave it right to Luze Watson. Back comes Carrick. They need buckets in a hurry. Here's Beasley driving the right side. Off the glass, no good. Rebounded. Who's got it? It's Stout. And Allderdice controls. 1:39 to go. Taylor on the lead pass. He hangs on to it. Back up top to Coffey, and Allderdice is going to try to bleed this clock out. Here's Coffey. Coffey to a
Nice
cutting
back
Taylor.
cut. Nice back door.
It feels like a dagger there. That puts him up 15. Luze Watson for Carrick. 1:16 to go. Driving off the rim, no good. Beasley with the rebound. He puts it up. That's missing. Beasley again. Knocked away. Who's got it? On the floor. Loose ball. Still loose. Stout has it. Or excuse me, Stead has it for Allderdice. You got Stout and Stead both on the floor for the Dragons. Taylor has it now inside the Stead. 50 seconds to go. Lucas Stead, the hook shot.
The big fella once again.
He's done it all on the blocks, from behind the arcs, the baby hook there.
Yeah, he's a good athlete, three-sport athlete, and, he's a big guy. He's really making his presence felt out there. But, JT, this is, looking at these two teams match up, if they end up meeting later in the season, I can see Carrick really giving them a run.
I get the feeling that these two teams could see each other again. I totally feel the exact same way. I think it would be very, very interesting should they meet, especially when it comes down to a possible playoff game of some sort. But bear in mind, these two teams will meet again in about a month.
Okay.
They'll meet at Carrick on January 27th. So there will be another regular season meeting. But a postseason meeting, I see where you're going with this.
Absolutely.
It could be an interesting matchup.
That should be a good game to go see. Carrick, would have a nice chance at home to come back. If they could just cut down on some of the turnovers, protect the ball, they're a quick team, they're physical. They actually match up well with Allderdice, but today just wasn't their day.
There's not enough opportunities that they took advantage of. Meanwhile, Allderdice, they look ahead to North Allegheny for the Holiday Bash. They will face North Allegheny on December 28th. Meanwhile, Carrick, looking at the Raiders' schedule.
North Allegheny will be a nice test for Allderdice.
I totally agree with that one. Carrick, as it winds down here, they will look to face Waynesburg Central at the Bentworth tournament in 1 week. So both of these teams going right back into holiday tournament mode, if you will.
Early in the season, you learn from these kind of games, and I think both teams learned a lot. Unfortunately, sometimes you win and learn, and sometimes you lose and learn, and Allderdice got the W here today, but I think Carrick's season could really take a bright turn.
They came into this game in first place in the City League standings. Inbound there, pass to Beasley, and he draws a foul. And to your point, you talk about the matchup between these two teams. I imagine these two coaches are going to take notes from this game. They're going to watch the film for this. And a month from now, they're going to go in with a lot better understanding of what the other team's going to do. So that second matchup could be really interesting between these two teams.
I'm sure Carrick's going to do a lot of work on breaking pressure, and moving the ball and taking care of the ball. And Allderdice, Carrick forced the tempo, and they had quite a few turnovers themselves. So it's early in the season. Both of these teams are going to get better, and when they play later on in the year, I think you see both teams take much better care of the basketball.
Really athletic Carrick group.
Very
athletic. Showed that for sure today.
Yes, they did. Their guards are amazing.
1 out of 2 here for Beasley. As we get to the final seconds here in the turnover as Carrick brings it back. Here's Kesner. He's going to draw a foul as well. Trying to drive to the lane off the turnover. So Tavon Turner called for the foul for Allderdice as the Dragons continue to empty their bench. Javian Kesner, meanwhile, will shoot 2. Converts the first.
So you think Allderdice has what it takes to win 5 in a row?
If you want to talk about teams that have a lot going for them, Allderdice is a team. They have guys that can shoot outside. They have guys that can play inside. They're very disciplined. They play very strong defense. There's no reason to think they can't be in the mix for a 5th time around.
I agree. I think they have all the ingredients to make a good run.
Absolutely. Inbound pass here. It's Turner trying to break that pressure. 17 seconds to go. And Allderdice is going to try to milk it here. 3-point attempt from the wing. That's no good. That was Grayson Pegger.
Hey, JT, when you're coming in off the bench, you don't want to melt the clock. You want to get on that scoreboard.
There you go. And we just saw that. Andras Sokai got a bucket in there. And right before the buzzer, that one's no good. And this one comes to an end. Allderdice, the 4-time reigning city champion. They put a stamp on this one in the opening game of the Edgar, Snyder & Associates Holiday Hoops Classic. The final score, Allderdice 58, Carrick 42. And these two teams, and we'll mention it again, they will meet again in 1 month at Carrick High School when they will face each other a second time.
What a great game to open up the tournament today, JT, and it was an honor and pleasure to do the game with you, my friend.
Honor as well. It's always good to sit next to a City League legend, so to have the opportunity to do that as a Shinley graduate myself, just an honor to be a part of this, and thank you to Matt Fargo and the folks here at PPG Paints Arena for allowing us to be here for this game, and thank you for joining us on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. The final score, Allderdice 58, Carrick 42. Plenty of basketball action left the remainder of the day. Stick with us here for the Edgar, Snyder & Associates Holiday Hoops Classic on PPG Paints at PPG Paints Arena here on Sportsnet Pittsburgh. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Crazy
you.
Ragtag Day.
Y'all.
The can.
You doing some more